Europe and so on. It can be done, and all the democratic capitalist system survives. So no one can say that universal health care is some kind of a, first threat to freedom, ominous thing, and so on and so on. This is why I think that, in spite of my criticism of Obama, blah, blah, I think that he did here the right thing, that this is the crucial debate, and it was a well-chosen topic, because, again, it does disturb the core of the dominant ideology, but at the same time, the proposal is not utopian. It's not let's nationalize everything or whatever. It presents an option which is very realistic. It can be done.
I was wondering about like Trotsky and the left opposition.
Last question from
his the revolution betrayed, and talking about sort of the pragmatic steps towards socialism, which he said never was achieved in the USSR. Would you agree with Trotsky on that, or?
Yes, but nonetheless, I think that he didn't think deep enough into how the project was nonetheless doomed from the very beginning. Here, I almost prefer Lenin, who in the early 20s said quite openly, what building of socialism, what construction of socialism is. All we can do is to introduce into Russia in a more civilized way and maybe faster a kind of a Western, he meant West European, kind of a higher education development and so on and so on. Forget about socialism, that was his point. So again, Lenin was tragically aware in early 20s that no chance. For Lenin, the very idea of constructing socialism in one country would have been a total utopia and so on. So that's the problem. It's not just, if I push Trotskys to the extreme, sometimes they read as if only Lenin were to survive for 3-4 years more and made a pact with Trotsky, there would be no Stalinism, we would have some thriving socialist democracy. It was a much harsher deadlock. Yeah. I mean, it was maybe not written in the stars, but there was a deadlock. And which is why, again, there was a big debate in early 20s in Soviet Union what to do. I think that what happened then was something pretty faithful, this idea of third world socialism. What I don't like in it, even if it's masked as anti-colonialism, is this idea that even the peasant resistance to modernization, to capitalist modernization, can be the foundation for the new order of solidarity and so on and so on. I think I'm here an old-fashioned Marxist. I think that capitalism with all this destructiveness is a condition of freedom. Marx always emphasized this. You have to go through this capitalist radical desubstantialization. All immediate organic forms are destroyed and so on and so on. You have to go through this 0 point of where, as Marx put it, in the famous lines of Communist Manifesto, everything fixed, melts down, and so on and so on. I think this is the great temptation, to think that some kind of pre-modern forms of organic solidarity, tribal, whatever, can be resuscitated as the foundation of some more authentic democracy. No, here I agree with otherwise my big opposition to him, with Tony Negri. Know that I believe in capitalist dynamics in the way that I don't believe in any alternate modernity. You know why? Because alternate modernity sounds nice, but it's precisely a dream of we can have a cake and eat it. We can have a capitalism, a different one, without its antagonisms. My doubt about alternate modernity is that, there was one alternate modernity in Europe. It was called fascism, which was precisely we can have capitalism, but without class struggle, without individualism, and so on, and we know where it ended. No, here we should remain, again, faithful to Marx. You have to go through this 0 point of capitalist dynamic, of dissolving and all fixed relations. Outside of this socialist project is just what Marx in Communist Manifesto calls feudal or tribal communism, you know, and it turns into a nightmare.
I believe this gentleman had a question.
Yeah, that's why I want, like, what's the situation here?
People
Who
are
are my
curious.
torturers? Like, are it only you or